What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Kurumizawa's Folly, Chapter 12. So in this one, Yamada is told by Hada that his father Hada's father wakes him up, and basically Hada doesn't say more than that, but Yamada learns later. But so it's shown that so after last chapter there were concerns about why Hada's father wakes him up at night. It's revealed that basically his father has like basically yell randomly at night, say some stuff. It's heavily implied that he has PTSD from World War II, and that he drinks a lot and like could be physically violent. And Hana does tell this to Yamada, and Hana lets Yamada relay this info to the vice principal. Yamada wants Hana's father to be put into a psychiatric hospital. The vice principal says that drunkenness isn't enough; that they need some confirmation. And so Yamada tries to figure out how to help, and then he learns about Hada's mother, who basically been overworking due to like to make up for Hada's father's like issues, and also because she wants to work on like because she wasn't one to abandon Hada's grandmother because so his so basically Hada's mother, her parents died when she was young, and she was raised by relatives who didn't want her. So when she got married, her new mother-in-law basically treated her like her own daughter. And so Hada's father, even though he has all the problems and Hada's mother wants to leave him and take Hada with it, she doesn't want to leave the grandmother. And so Hada's mother, due to all the overwork, dies of a sunstroke. And so Yamada goes to the house. He sees Hada with his father, and he sees bruises on Hada's arms. And he grabs Hada's father, concerned that basically Hada was abused by his father, but Hada says that he just tripped. And so Yamada like lets Hada's father go, and then yeah, so and then like yeah, so basically Yamada leaves, and then like he later it's shown that he's been trying to visit, but that he can't. Basically, like Hada doesn't go to school, and that basically he's not allowed to see the kid. That Yamada is not allowed to see him, and basically they're concerned that it may not be wise to separate Hada from his father. And so Yamada knocks on the door, says that he's transferring to a different school, basically because he's become center attention in a bad way. Basically, he tells me he wants to apologize and he couldn't do anything to help him. And he asks, if if Hada does stop going to school, to never stop learning, that he hopes to see him again. And so Hada, like, continues reading Bilal, watching the anime, and then it looks like you see him trying to learn some stuff just from reading, you know, Cyber Joe, whatever, which let him be writing Bilal. And then it goes back to the present. So Hada has processed that Kurumizawa has been publishing Bilal under like as himself, like claiming Hada's credit for his own. So Hada deduces that says that that it means that basically he says Sensei can't live without me anymore, can he? he starts laughing. He's like, and you see like the last text is like it's a black text box with white text that says that ain't so bad. So it's hence that basically he's like had some mental break and he's gonna like start manipulating Kurumizawa. So like things are about to get twisted that he's gonna turn things around on Kurumizawa and take control of the situation and try and make things more beneficial for himself. So that's interesting. I mean, that's not necessarily what I was expecting. Honestly, I was expecting he was gonna mental break and then he would just try to kill Kurumizawa. That's what I expect. I thought he was gonna try to kill him. So yeah, I thought this was a good chapter, like how they show, like how they handle the issues of like dealing, like when you're if it, when you have a good teacher, like a good teacher who wants to help a kid, and there's issues, obviously there's only so much you can do, even if there's like an abusive parent. There's only so much you can do legally, and he was trying that the teacher was trying to navigate that, and so Hada processed all that stuff. Basically, obviously he didn't have a good education. And so obviously it looks like it's hit through that, he's basically about to go full villain here. Now the question becomes how will that, psychotic break affect how he writes Bilal? Like how is that gonna affect things? It's gonna be interesting. So I thought that this was a good chapter, hints at some interesting developments coming up. Like this chapter, looking forward to the next one. Fire Force Season 3, Episode 14. So in this one, pillar appears, and at one of the pillars, the infernal, there is a doppelganger of Hibachi Shinmon, who is Benimaru's former master and was the previous leader of, the Asakusa. And so basically, then so in the so Benimaru goes there to confront like his old man. So Hibachi was, you know, took upon himself to kill the Infernals, and he was obviously the Infernals. They were people that turned into like fire monsters, and so he would, put them to rest. Basically kill them. He was stabbed and murdered by the child of one of the Infernals. Basically, the kid was like, "Who gives you the right to decide who lives and dies?" Hibachi doesn't hold it against the kid because he understands why the kid's mad. But he says that's why someone in his position can't be sentimental. It has to be someone. Basically, it has to be a knucklehead. So you see Benimaru fighting Hibachi and pulling off the Nichiren Akatsuki in order to defeat, the Hibachi doppelganger. The doppelganger acknowledges Benimaru's strength and gives Benimaru a sense of closure and how he sees how Benimaru has led the Asakusa. Yeah, I thought this was you know, I thought this was a a really good episode. The visuals for that fight were freaking awesome. I was looking forward to this because that's one of the fights I was looking forward to. And you see how the fight, like how like the waves were changing to like a painting. Like it was freaking awesome. Like I thought it was really good. Like it is going to be this is going to be it should be a good season, hopefully. I thought this was a great episode. Looking forward to the next one. The Hunting Party, Season 2, Episode 2. So in this episode, So the team hunts a killer named Adrian Gallo who would kill victims and store in resin. Basically, and he allegedly he had killed a cop, and um yeah, so basically then yeah, so they basically so they try to hunt Gallo, and so they meet up with Erica Burke, whose partner was allegedly killed by Gallo as one of the victims. Basically, he would put the victims in some resin as like a basically preserve life. He had some like abandonment issues, and so the team like so Gallo shows up like in Burke's car, well in Burke's house, or whatever. And so basically, then Gallo leaves, try to find some resin. Then Bex and her team arrive and tell Erica what's going on. So they begrudgingly tell her about everything. So then Burke says she doesn't want to get involved. So, but Bex is suspicious about how Burke has been acting, and it is revealed that. So one of the things that happens is that um Gallo. So the three murders that Gallo admitted to were the only ones that he had actually committed. The rest were a copycat. It is revealed that Burke is the copycat. So basically, Burke got a taste for the thrill of killing by. So her partner was planning on retiring once the Gallo case was done, and then like just retire, move to Florida. Burke got pissed with that, led to an argument, and then her partner got killed during the argument, and she used like Gallo's preservation techniques to like preserve his body, and basically framed Gallo for the murder. And so she got a taste of it and didn't stop there, and so she would like continue to like kill people and use the resin to preserve them. And so Gallo tries to find his preserves, which was only in the like it's only in in Burke's like collection, whatever. So yeah, so and then Burke kills Gallo, but is like arrested by the FBI. And then there's like a there's like a something happened. So basically, there's a reveal how I guess Crow Lazarus doesn't exist in like some like rosters or whatever. So like there's concerns about what this colonel's like motives are, and that's kind of how that happens near the end of the episode. So yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I liked the little twist regarding the serial killers in this, like the two, like I was like, wait, what? The cop turned into a serial killer? I mean, she would know how to like you know, basically cover her tracks and stuff. And from being a cop, she would know how they would think things. So yeah, I thought it was cool. So you have like killers that aren't at the pit being revealed, and we kind of had that in season one. And then yeah, so I thought it was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Frieren Beyond Journey's End, season two, episode one. So in this episode, so Frieren, Fern, and Stark, they're heading towards end. They're low on money, so Fern says they need to head to the next town and find some work. Now, on their way there, they fall through this hollow like ground, and they end up in a cave. There's some magic nullifying crystals, so Fern and Frieren are powerless, and Stark basically is like the only protection. And Frieren jokes that she and Fern are like just defenseless girls now, and Stark says girls, and Frieren's like, I didn't forget that you called me an old hag. So, the three of them they explore the cave. Then they cut. Then so while Frieren is sleeping, a venomous apex dragon attacks the group. So Stark realizing he's no match for creature, he grabs Frieren and Fern and runs away till he gets out. So the party heads towards the road, across the road, and they find an inn. And so when they spend the night, so Werble ends up being there. He keeps trying to recruit Stark to defend Northern Plateau from demons. Um, Freeman believes that Stark should have a choice in the matter, especially mostly partly since like she thinks that maybe traveling with two girls could now feel awkward for him. So Fern asks Stark about it. So Stark says he had declined Warble's offer, and that he likes being basically the vanguard for the party, and that working with Frieren and Fern has helped him grow as like a person, and that this is where he needs to be. Now Fern offers to like pet him, and Stark's like, "What? What are you doing?" And so next morning, the parties like they see off Warble's team, then they continue heading towards the village to get some work. So who knows how that will go? Like what kind of work they'll do. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode to start with. Honestly, basically a lot of people we all know these characters, so you know, and so gives us some of like what like there's a joke. So Frieren was up earlier than expected, and Stark asked Fern if she praised Frieren, and Fern said yes. Like I thought it was like I thought like because that joke sits like that joke always hits well. And so yeah, so basically it's Stark like trying like part of the episode is him processing like how he used to be a coward and all that. I thought it was a good episode. I liked how it like introduced what's going on. Should be a really good season of anime. And yeah, I like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. That Man's Wire. So this is a biopic movie about a real life hostage incident that happened. So Tony Kurumizawa had basically there was some disputes between him and um and ML Hall of a mortgage broker, basically regarding the loans, regarding some property that Tony wanted to turn into like a shopping center or whatever. So he arrives in order to meet with ML. ML's in vacation in Florida, but Richard, who was ML's son, offers talk things out with Tony. So they go up to ML's office, and Tony pulls a shotgun out, he ties like a wire around Richard's neck to the shotgun to act as like a dead man's wire, to where if Richard tries to move, if he faints or and Tony ties like a wire to like his neck to like if he falls and Follies basically and like Richard escapes and like Richard dies if he so if he tries to escape, if he like falls over, if Tony falls, Richard dies. That's essentially what happened. And so Tony has Richard call the cops, explain, and he basically explains the hostage situation. So Tony and Richard basically they walk outside with basically a shotgun put in Richard's head, and like Newsmedia gets involved. They like videotape a lot of it, and basically Tony forces a cop to let him drive his car, which was running, and so because like Tony's car wouldn't work, and Richard's car was like I guess too far away, whatever. So they drive to you know they drive to Tony's apartment, and basically there's like a standoff for like 60. The whole ordeal is like 63 hours. So they you have like the negotiators come in. They try like basically ML like refuses to apologize, and even though he knows how that could make things difficult for like his like basically can make things difficult for Richard if ML's not even willing to like apologize. So yeah, I and then like so to show you like the press conference that ended it, and like so and like in Tony Kuritzis is being found not guilty after he's arrested. He's found not guilty by reason of insanity. Now, in real life, one of the things that happens is that so Indiana at the time required that prosecution prove that a defendant was not insane beyond a reasonable doubt. And then like basically due to that and some other cases like yeah and basically the law got changed to where basically it's the opposite where if a defendant tries to reach the wants to get a insane plea, he has to basically basically the defendant has to prove that he or she is insane. Like basically proof is insane like prove that he is insane. Now one of the things is that Tony thought he wasn't insane. And yeah, so I thought this was a good movie. Cool how like they handle like also like the standoff, like basically the most movement through the streets. And so yeah, so I thought it was a good biopic. Interesting to see how yeah, you see like, basically the guy's just main guy like he'll play by Bill Skarsgård who does a great job. Like I thought it was good. Like presenting now one of the things is that like so the radio host in this movie that's not the real name of the radio. So in history, the guy's name was Fred Hackman. Well, Fred Hackman. And then yeah, so then basically so yeah, so I thought it was good. Like it was good to show how a broken man like he just breaks like and as far as like the whole contract in regard to love and stuff, I don't know who is in the right on that one. I don't know enough about basically that case or about I thought this was really good. It was a decent movie. Like it was a simple biopic, like pretty darn cheap. Well, I'm guessing it looks like some like yeah. So that was good. Like basically like snap. Like Skarsgård and Montgomery both did very well in their respective roles. Al Pacino was great in the limited time he appeared. And then obviously the radio host. So the radio host was cool. Like that guy was cool. So yeah, I thought this was a really good movie. I thought it was a good movie. Yeah, I recommend watching it.
And that's it.
Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.